Welcome back to Sailing Remission. Last week was tough for us, being stranded at sea for 24 hours before finally getting the engines to at least start. But once they started, we had white smoke coming out of each engine, with the port engine being the worst. White smoke can be an indicator of severe damage, as in blowing the head gasket. It could also represent water in the fuel, along with a host of other problems. We did fill our tanks in America Samoa. Then afterwards, we did find out that some other cruisers had reported water in their tanks. So we start out our time in Tonga, fixing the problems we encountered in this passage.
Well, Tonga, if nothing else, is certainly beautiful. We've come to the first harbor. It's so nice and calm here. We still got about another mile and a half to go to get to the inner harbor. But look at this place.
Our first stop is the boatyard to see if they can help us figuring out what to do about the white smoke coming from the diesels.
Well, we just met Alan here at the boatyard. He's the owner. And he gave us some to-dos to check on the engine to see why we're getting the white smoke. He's got me hoping that it's only water in the fuel, which is going to be a big pain in the ass to get rid of. But it's a lot better than the alternative, which could be blown seals or even worse, a blown head gasket. So they also got lines. He's got us another store in town that we're going to go to, but you know, lines for the furler and the topping lift. So very helpful, very good guy. And he also gave us some more ideas on our broken winch. Like he's basically talked me out of trying to fix it by a machine shop. So I'm going to just go ride with that one for a while. But it was nice to get there. And it's got a nice little operation here. Plus he even said after I do my homework, if I still need him to, he'll come out and he'll look at it. You know, he'll come out to Remission rather than us having to come to the boatyard. And we actually had a good day so far. Even better is he told us where to get some more antifreeze because I used up most of it on the passage. And so we just walked about, he said 100 meters, it was closer to 300 meters up the hill to get it. And since I have a bad back, look who's carried it. She's trying to tell me she's getting exercise. She's getting her arm exercise. I know I'm going to end up having to pay for it. But go, Cindy. Let's see those exercises. Look at those guns. All right, we're heading into town now. I guess this must be a thing in the South Pacific. It's got a big old pig in the road. I'm more afraid of you than you're afraid of me, buddy.
Here is what caused the Genoa problem. The spinnaker halyard got wrapped up into the sail. It then got so tight that the power winch couldn't move the furler any further, and snap went the furler line.
Well, I am so thankful that that sail rolled up so easily. I was worried that the furler would have had a problem, but it all was due to the halyard. So that was done. And last night though, with this car, I don't know, I'm sure this caused it or something out there, I don't know, but we dragged last night. It's funny, we were both up, it was like 2:30. And, you know, our sleep patterns are all screwed up with the passages, but we're both up, and then we just heard some, and didn't know what that sound meant. Well, it meant we were dragging. So we came up, and we were heading towards Lucky Dog right there. And so, you know, luckily we were up and heard it, but you know, Cindy was still had her alarm her anchor alarm on, so it would have gone off any second. But I tried to re-anchor 3 or 4 times, and with that sail out, we're just moving around, and I couldn't get exactly where I wanted. And I figured what had happened. I know it won't come out on camera, but can you see the different colors of green up there? There's a dark green and a light green. Well, I'm pretty sure the light green is sand where we tried to anchor, and the dark green I just thought was probably rocks, but I'm now sure it was seagrass, and we must have put down in that seagrass or close enough to where when our anchor did, you know, from the wind and everything, popped up a little bit, it couldn't reset, and so we just kind of dragged it. With seagrass, the nose of the anchor can't dig down, it just kind of slides along. And so we tried several times and finally went out a little deeper. I think we found a good spot, and even with that sail, it did blow a little bit more last night. We held, and obviously we held now. But Cindy told me we had actually, you know, after all this, Cindy couldn't sleep. She was pretty nervous about it. So she stayed up, and at one time she said that we swang the bow of the boat was facing that way, with the anchor still that way. And so yeah, I think now we're good, because it's supposed to get, right now it's probably about 12-14 knots, and we're supposed to by this afternoon get 20 to 25 for the next week. So we're going to be here a while. May even make going and seeing the whales tough, because it's going to be so rough out there. But I think at least for now, something went right and we're okay. I gotta go get some coffee. It's too early for all this crap. All right, today's project is new for me, but it's not a tough one. There is our topping lift. I know it's hard to see, but it's just a bunch of strands. What that topping lift does is it holds the mast or the boom in place. It allows us to raise it and lower it to get a better sail shape. Well, it's holding on by a bunch of threads, so I'm going to run on one of our new lines up there for the topping lift. So what I've done so far is I've got the 2 lines and I've sewed them together. So let's see here, obviously it's not done yet, but by sewing them together, and then I'm going to wrap it with tape just to make sure, and then I'm going to pull this line up through the mast, pulling this one with it, and then once it gets all the way through, it's going to go up and down and connect there. At that point, we'll have a new topping lift. Hope this works. Like I said, this is a first for me, but let's give it a shot. All right, so I finally got it nice and wrapped, and that's pretty strong. I can't pull them apart. Hard to do it with one hand, but I can't pull it apart. So now, up the mast. All right, I'm just slowly pulling the new topping lift through, waiting for it to show its face. Not yet. I see it. It's through. Yeah, not a big deal for most people, but in my challenged ways, this is pretty awesome. Now look at that. There's my connection. I made it. Now just to go tie it off. Let's see if she works. All right, so that's where the mast or the topping lift is connected. So just gonna undo that and tie a new one on. I like it when things come together. So what do you think? Thing of beauty? I mastered something. I'll take any little win I can get. All right, now this is what you call holding on by a thread. I think it needed to be changed.
So what do you do on a Saturday afternoon in Tonga when everything's shut down?
Well, it's been, last time I did the boat or cleaned the bottom of the boat, it was April. It's supposed to be done every 3 weeks. We're in September. But the reason being is Atutaki, the water was horrible. Apia, Samoa, the water was horrible. And then the 3.5 months we spent in American Samoa, the water was fine, but there was bull sharks. So in Tonga, gonna go clean it. This may take me a while.
What guests do you have in the water in Tonga?
I got a bunch of jellyfish down here. So for one, it's cold here because we're in the middle of winter. So I'm fully geared up for the cold and the jellyfish.
All right.
So at least I won't be alone down there.
All right. Well, don't stay down too long. I don't want any hypothermia.
Yeah, well, that's why I got all this on. So we'll see how it goes. It is a chili. Actually, let me survey first.
Okay, it's on.
Okay. It was still recording.
I said it's on.
Yeah, it's really bad down there. This is going to take me a while. One tank is not going to do it. Well, time to get going. Well, you're not going to believe this one. We just had Alan, the owner and the chief mechanic at the boatyard, come on board. And he went down, looked at the engines, looking for all the possibilities for the white smoke, went through, we checked the fuel, there was no water. The head gasket looks good. I filled the coolant before, we're still out on passage, so it was full. And so checked all the possible problems and couldn't figure out what it was. So we started up the engines and no white smoke. I mean, how does that happen? It just stopped. I just talked to my buddy Kevin and he says, no, there's got to be a reason. All I can figure is that once we put that coolant back in and it worked its way through, it kind of got forced all the whatever was causing the white smoke to happen. It's no longer happening. So we're still going to get it checked when we get in Fiji, but for right now, we can motor again and not have to sit there and fret it the whole time. Again, some good news. Well, thank you for joining us this week on Sailing Remission. It's nice that when things actually start to come together, it's going to allow us to get out, explore Tonga, and really see what this country is all about. So far, what we've seen has been pretty special. So see you next week on Sailing Remission. Bye now. When a penguin goes fishing at night, what do they catch? Starfish. What do mermaids wash their fins with? Tide.